I think, like many of my colleagues, I'm very concerned about the possibility of a Trump presidency. I think it would be disastrous for the economy as well as for other things, and I felt compelled to speak out.
What specifically do you think would be disastrous for the economy?
I don't think that Mr. Trump has coherent economic policies, and I think he has advisors who are not competent economists, and so I just worry about what he would do.
I can't help but think back to Brexit, when all of the prominent economists and institutions and global elite were worried and warning against voting for Brexit, and then it happened, and so far the economy and the markets have held up.
Well, I think it's very early days. I think from a purely economic point of view, Brexit was a mistake. I think actually there were different arguments for Brexit having to do with the British wanting to take back control from Europe, and actually I had some respect for that argument. But I think it's way too early to judge the economic impact of that. But coming back to the U.S., I think Donald Trump, is appealing to some people who feel left behind in economic terms, and I think their position, it's quite understandable why they might feel aggrieved. But I think what's wrong is to think that Mr. Trump is actually going to do anything for them. None of his policies make me think that he could actually help or will help the people who've been left behind.
One of the points in the letter states that he has misled voters in states like Ohio and Michigan by asserting that the renegotiation of NAFTA, or the imposition of tariffs on China, would substantially increase employment in manufacturing. Do you deny the fact that some of these trade deals that have been in existence have hurt American workers and wages?
I do not deny that, trade deals, I think in general are good for the economy as a whole, the U.S. economy as a whole, but there can be winners and there can be losers. And I don't think economists would disagree about that. Actually, I think a lot of the reason that some people have suffered in those states is actually not because of trade deals, it's because of new technology, automation. I don't know how Donald Trump is going to reverse that. Also, to the extent there are losers, the best thing to do is to stick with the trade deals, but find some way to compensate the losers, as opposed to tearing the deals up.
Oliver, the letter does not mention Hillary Clinton. In fact, it just says that it recommends voters choose a different candidate. A separate letter signed by some economists did endorse Clinton. Who is the right candidate?
Oh, I signed both letters. My view is that Hillary Clinton is a serious and sensible person who will be good for this country. I mean, I don't think she's perfect. I don't agree with all of her policies, but I think she's way better than any of the alternatives. So that's why I also signed that letter.
Don't you worry at all, though, that as an economist, as part of the global elite, Donald Trump has been so appealing because he's an outsider, he's a disruptor, and he's going against the global order, and people like that? Don't you worry that by attaching your name and giving more press to the fact that economists are backing him, in effect, it actually ends up helping him?
Well, you're assuming, I mean, this letter may have no impact at all. I don't know. Could it have a negative impact? That would be worrying. But sometimes you just have to, I mean, I felt that I had to sort of stand up and say that this guy is not good for the country. I think he's sufficiently bad that it's important for people who study economics and to actually, stand up and be counted. So I certainly hope it doesn't actually work in his favor, but my guess is it probably, it's more likely not to have any impact at all than to work in his favor.
Hey, CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.